Hello everyone, and welcome to the UN. You have made a terrific decision, and it really means that you hold great values. I'm guessing if you are here, you aren't boring and mundane and normal. You are considered neurodiverse. You might be diagnosed with a label such as ADHD, dyslexia, autism, global development delay, Down syndrome, MS, learning disabilities, the list goes on. So you are either neurodivergent like me, or you might be here because you have an invested interest in our race of people, whether as a parent, carer, family member, teacher, doctor, therapist. So this group is kind of like the real world. You're either neurodiverse or you work for someone that is. And that is the only thing from the real world that I would like to keep the same in this group. Everything else I would like to be nothing like modern day society in this community. This is a place to start fresh. It is your personal development zone as well as your fun zone. If you are here, I assume you are sick of mainstream society and want to be part of a community, learning, empowering information and implementing better. You have spent enough years in mainstream society and it wasn't good enough for you. You have seen the results of mainstream society and now you want to be part of the solution and operate from a new paradigm to grow, to train and to evolve. The reason I made this community is to empower individuals with knowledge, tools and solutions to implement into their lives. Otherwise, we would just be like every other community and every other support group. Up until I was 23 years old, I used to go to autism support groups. One of the guys sitting across the table from me asked me how I got better at speaking. And then I told him, well, I actually used to practice from a young age. I would tell him that from the age of 7, I would spend my time in front of a mirror, perfecting my greeting and perfecting my answer of, fine, thank you, how are you? Fine, thank you, how are you? I would practice that for ages in front of the mirror until it sounded good enough so that I could use it at the next family function. The lady who was hosting the meeting said, yes, practice is good. Practice, good. However, I then went home and received an email saying that I was banned from the group. Under the reason for the ban, she wrote, this person promotes unproven methods. Later on, I then took over an existing autism group and I called our meetings the Autism Exchange. I then eventually stopped it because I saw what it was doing. It was operating like every other community and support group. Now, in society, we are conditioned to want to be with people in a similar boat to us. You don't like work? I don't like working too. They become friends. Oh, you always go to the doctor. Oh, I always go to the doctor too. And then they all bond, become friends. Or you go to a stadium and cheer for 11 people kicking a ball who you've never met in your life. Oh yeah, I do that too. Let's do it together. Yeah, I know that the 11 people we go to see kicking a ball don't do anything for us, but we will go and support them. I don't feel like I belong anywhere, so I guess I'll just continue going along to these matches. It doesn't help me. But it's called loyalty, it is. That's called loyalty, that is. It's called leisure, it's called escapism. Even though you should really be trying to build a life which you don't need escaping from. But anyway, staying loyal, despite it never doing anything positive or beneficial to my life. Plus, when someone scores, someone who reeks of booze cheers and shouts and claps and then comes running over to me and hugs me. And then I feel really connected and I feel like I'm part of something great. I would never be good enough to get on the pitch and play with those players, so I feel really entitled to having my say. So I'll scream my advice from row Z in the stadium. Or even better, I'll scream from my TV at home. And I'll react to every shot, every goal, and every save. And I'll make sure that chaotic energy emanates throughout my whole house for my family to hear. And I'll make sure that my family feels it and that my neighbours hear it and feel it too. It's important, you see. Anyway, so then everyone like that all become friends with each other, shouting, comparing opinions about their team, who they'll sometimes never even meet or never have an actual say in the real situation, because obviously it is much more important to them and productive to them than themselves, their family, and their life situation. So then over the course of one generation, this is now considered normal. They go on to make a family of their own within that community, and they have many children, living the dream. However, they then go on to having this one kid. Whilst the family are screaming at the TV, this kid just sits there, and he does nothing. The father then gets concerned, and he takes him to the doctor. Doctor, you've got to help. There's an important game going on at home, but my son just sits there, and there is no passion or excitement in him. Oh no, there is something wrong with my kid. You have got to help me. Make my kid normal like me. Make him shout at the TV. And then the doctor goes, "Oh no, your son doesn't shout at the TV. Well, he is definitely not as emotionally advanced as you. So, what does he do anyway?" "Nothing, doctor. He's crazy. He's a psycho. He doesn't pay attention to anything. He just likes moving around, and he likes light, and he likes machines. We bought him cars, but he takes them apart. He wants to figure out how they're built. And machines, he's interested in how things work around the house, and asks questions about the stars and the universe, and how things operate." And the doctor goes, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that your son doesn't shout at the TV. So, after confirming he isn't able to follow social norms, I will diagnose him with autism, give you a prescription, and then you can come to see me every month for the rest of his life, and that is that. And hopefully one day he will stop this madness of wanting to figure things out. And he, too, will also one day shout at the TV." But as the years go by, the father then does what he does best. Forges new friendships at the pub, making friends with other similar families at the bar. He introduces himself and his family. We're a Chelsea family, you see. That's right, we're 4 generations supporting Chelsea. But my youngest son, he don't like Chelsea. It's because he's autistic, you see. And then he goes to the bar every week, telling his story. And then I was like, Doc, please, you've got to help me. My son doesn't shout at the TV. He doesn't like Chelsea. Make him normal like me. And then I thought he was gonna ruin my family. Well, at least now I know he's autistic, you see. And then they, as groups and communities, form such strong bonds and friendships off of similar beliefs and feelings. They then think that anyone who can focus, practice the art of forging their own outcomes, and therefore create their own success, they think that that person is a little bit off, or that he must have made a deal with the devil. And they go up to this person and they're like, hello mate, all this joy and success that you have, you seem to be really obsessed with yourself. Like a narcissist. I googled what a narcissist is. I know what one is, you know. It's a lot like what you're doing, the way you build yourself up. Why don't you just take it easy? Why don't you just come along to the game with us? Oh no, man. I have to read positive affirmations and stories to my kids, boost their self-esteem before they go to sleep, and then go to bed early. And then I have to wake up early for the gym before I go to work. They then go back to the pub and they say, I don't know what's up with that guy. I'm really worried about him. All of this obsession for his mental and emotional and physical well-being. But he doesn't get it. Eating hot dogs, drinking booze, and watching football, that's mental and emotional well-being, that is. And then everyone standing around him cheers him on in the pub that he just made a great statement, and they continue going back year after year. And that voice I just used to demonstrate is actually quite cognizant. However, these people aren't even aware of what they do. They just continue playing the same record they inherited through their hereditary and their environment. This is society and might be considered normal. However, this goes against my personal value system, especially because of what I have seen and experienced in the last 10 years, training people to have more success, joy, and do better in their mental and emotional well-being and their lives. Nothing here is a competition, but if it was, we have the greatest chance in this society that we're creating. Because of what outside society has made normal, it gives us the greatest opportunity. For example, I'm originally someone with neurological conditions, trauma, and learning disabilities. However, whilst living an alternative lifestyle, which is conducive to my personal development, and keeping it up for 5, 6, 7 years, meant that I could outperform any regular person or a regular dude, even on a world stage. When I became the #1 student entrepreneur in Dubai and the UAE in 2018, because I had been pursuing my personal development whilst everyone else at university was doing everything we were taught not to do. So the main difference with this club, the main difference is giving you the best possible future, whilst you are operating from a paradigm of possibilities.